Well, Elizabeth Warren versus the field was not the only battle that unfolded during last night's Democratic debate. There was also Tulsi Gabbard versus the entire U.S. press corps. Unlike virtually everyone else in her party, Gabbard believes in keeping America out of pointless foreign entanglements, and for that belief, she has been tarred repeatedly and very aggressively as a foreign agent. Last night, she hit back.
New York Times and CNN have also smeared veterans like myself for calling for an end to this regime change war. Just 2 days ago, the New York Times put out an article saying that I'm a Russian asset and an Assad apologist and all these different smears. This morning, a CNN commentator said on national television that I'm an asset of Russia. Completely despicable.
Yeah. And CNN doesn't care for her either. We know that for a fact because recent footage from Project Veritas shows a CNN employee conceding that the network is institutionally hostile to Tulsi Gabbard. Watch this.
I think the one they don't like is Tulsi.
Yeah.
They don't like Tulsi Gabbard.
Now, why do you think? Just
because she supports Assad and she's not taking the conventional route like when it comes to like foreign policy and stuff like that. So she's actually pretty liberal, but
yeah,
when it comes to that one position, like I think there are a lot of people are not cool with her.
Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii joins us tonight. So, Congresswoman, you just heard that. I don't know if you've seen that. I know you've been on the road. But there's a CNN employee saying that for taking an unconventional foreign policy position, you are the one Democratic candidate that CNN doesn't like. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't. You know, I think it's kind of absurd, actually, that as we saw in the days leading up to the debate last night, both the New York Times and CNN both ran hit pieces. Today, the day after the debate, we see more of these hit pieces coming out. And for them to sit there and try to portray themselves as neutral arbiters, as objective and independent entities, working with the DNC to carry out a legitimate debate is frankly, it's just a joke. So it's one of the reasons why I've been calling for, a nonprofit organization like the League of Women Voters to actually host these debates in a way that actually serves the interests of voters, not the profit, the profit-bearing corporate interests of the corporate media.
I couldn't agree more. So just for our viewers who maybe haven't followed this, when we say you've been attacked by the New York Times and CNN, it's not attacked like they're saying your health care plan's too expensive. They're saying that you're working for a foreign power against America's interests, that you're a traitor to our country. That New York Times piece essentially said that. What is this about?
Well, this is exactly what happens to those like myself who are trying to end this regime change war in Syria, who are calling for an end to our country's policy of being the world's police, bring about an end to these regime change wars. And this is something that is not just happening to me. You know, when they're issuing these smear attacks, really what they're doing is smearing anyone who's calling for an end to these regime change wars, including veterans who I meet almost every single day all across this country, who are not pacifists, but who understand and know firsthand the cost of war, and who are strongly calling for our country to put an end to these counterproductive regime change wars. So when they are issuing these smears and calling me a traitor to my country, they're essentially issuing these smears and attacks to every veteran who has been willing to lay their lives down in service to our country.
There are many things we don't agree on, but one of the reasons I'm so sympathetic to you and what you're doing is because I've been there. I know exactly what you're saying, and what you're saying is absolutely real. It's the one subject that they won't accept any deviation on. And so you deserve credit, I think, for your bravery in going forward. Thank you. Tulsi Gabbard, great to see you tonight.
Thanks, Tucker.